Yeah. What's good? This be the G Shaw Cypher. You officially tune in on the Grind Live, and we support anybody out there grinding in any capacity. It doesn't really matter what that capacity is. As long as you grinding, we gonna talk about it. You already know what it is. When you see me, you see dope people. Anything else is uncivilized. So I'm gonna say it one more time. When you see me, you see dope people. So I got somebody dope with me that we talked to a while back, and we finally bringing her back here to On the Grind Live. DaphoDILL, what's going on?
I'm good. How are you, man?
Hey, listen, just taking things to another level. I can't complain. I'm just make sure I'm clicking this button for Instagram Live. Shout out to people that's getting ready to, that's looking like they's tuning in right now through the On the Grind Live Instagram. So definitely shout out to y'all. But let's talk about you. It's been a while since we had a conversation. You get what I'm saying? I know we talked a long time either through the underground movers when we was underground movers. Then we transitioned to On the Grind Live. I don't know if you remember that, but it's been a while. So what do you so talk to me about what you got going on now? Like, I know you went in the music scene, so give us a synopsis of what you got going on these days.
Just trying to get to a different lifestyle, man, a clearer thinking, clarity on a lot of things. Sobriety.
Really?
Um,
Okay.
Still, doing some things within the music industry. Performance, going back over, a lot of things,
A lot of things. So when
a
you
different type of healing.
no, I hear you. You talk about sobriety. Do you want to dig deeper and talk about what that means for you? Like what particular things are you focused on that got you to where you are right now?
Not drinking and drugging, not doing those things to
Right,
cope or escape.
right,
Learning that even when you stop drinking and drugging, life doesn't stop, and trying to get to a healthier space to be able to cope in a different way,
right.
without feeding so much negative energy into things I don't need to be feeding into.
No, and that makes sense. Shout out to Lish 2 times on Instagram talking about try fasting. You know what I'm saying? I've been definitely doing that myself. I ain't even gonna lie to you, you know what I mean, on the fast. Um, but I know, we got it's very important to not put your energy in places where it don't really fit you, right?
Yeah.
It's very important to make sure that you are focused on things that are for you and not against you, right? Um, how has that been very important to you, and what's some of the things that you're doing now to make sure that you stay in the lane that you want to be in?
Um, Making sure I still bring a piece of me to anything that I am creating.
Okay.
Um, a lot. Trying to make sure I stick to myself too.
Right.
And yeah, I've made, music in different, areas, but I always try to make it to where you are getting a piece of me as well as a different type of creativity too.
Right.
Forming a different direction within it.
Definitely. And then that's definitely important. I know we come into a time right now where there's a lot of craziness, a lot of different things happening in the world, and you got to figure out where you fit in it and how you going to navigate and things like that. Um, but for you, you got music that you push in, you're doing some things. So from a music perspective, like how did the music come to be something that you want to involve yourself in and really, bring your voice to?
Because those things can change people's lives.
Right.
I remember talking to people about this. You don't really see the message behind it, or it's like you can have one perspective on what you think is going on versus what that person is actually thinking about, and as it kind of relates to different social norms and conformity in the world.
Right. How do you put that in your music? Do you know what I mean? Or describe the music that you deliver to the people? Like when Daffodil, when they hear Daffodil and the message that you putting out, you know, what can they expect?
A lot of the experiences I've experienced, as well as worldly things that I've seen. Um, what else? Places that I've wanted to go to and accomplish,
Right,
where I could see myself as, like when you look at things from different standpoints to where you start, where you want to go, where you're at, where you want to be, and those things can get all constructed into a song, and a
right.
different vision can get created. You start off, with that thought in your head, and
Mhm.
then you bring it to paper, and then you bring it to video, then you bring it to film or photography or this, and you're creating different aspects and perspectives on who a person is, who what their story is, what they'll say, what someone else will say, and it's all about a different type of image. You never know what image someone is trying to bring to their music either. It may sound one way, but it could be something completely different.
It makes sense. Makes sense. Now you in the state of Mississippi?
Yeah.
So tell the people where in Mississippi you represent, and then what is it like for you in your city?
Hattiesburg, and it's rough, man. Rough, but just fighting people over my knowledge, over my brain, over my skills,
Right.
um a lot of things. And they do these things behind the scenes, on the scenes, paperwork, all types of things, but they when they're doing those things, they don't let you see it. They
Right,
do those
right,
things after the fact. So it's like learning to just really ground myself and look at a lot of things so that I'm able to protect myself too.
right, right. So you navigating through the negativity and the different changes that come in, that come to you through in the city that you in. How
Yeah.
what is the reaction really to the music that you deliver in your city? Like, do you get any support from that perspective, or do you feel like you need to travel outside your city for that?
Both. So, and what I mean by both, what I'm saying is it's like at first they didn't support, and then they did, and they didn't, and they
Right.
did. But it's like I'm getting support, but it's also like there's a different connotation behind it.
Oh
It
yeah, I
was like we may support this, but we don't support that, or we like this and we don't like that. But it's like they do those things in the midst of something else.
right.
So it's a different era.
It's definitely a different era. You get what I'm saying? And I know you've traveled to different locations and things like that for your music. Like what is your can you remember one of your best experiences, traveling to other places to really distribute and showcase your music?
I would say Atlanta, because that's
Okay.
the main place that I have been traveling to. And I forgot that when you just asked me again. My brain was kind of focused on trying to get those things out and answer those questions.
That makes sense. It's all good.
But Atlanta at the Music Monday.
Okay.
That was a good experience for me to get up on the stage. You get nervous to get up there and do those things, but you also have that
That
confidence, like
feedback.
I know this gonna rock, I know this gonna work. Did you hear this? Did you hear this? This shit gonna bump,
Is
you
that
know.
the Coalition Mondays?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, definitely. Shout out to the coalition, what I mean, DJs out there doing that Music Monday. I mean, that's important, things like that. You get what I'm saying? So I'm glad you got, you getting the love out there in Atlanta when you travel and things like that. um what was the feedback like? Because I know you get on that stage, you do the music. How many songs were you able to perform? With just the one, or what I mean? And if so, how many?
I
What
remember
was the
I
feedback?
performed three,
Three? Okay.
I think, if I'm not mistaken. It was so long ago.
Oh, well,
I'm thinking I performed three songs.
so I'm thinking like this, right? Maybe they asked you to perform three because they wanted to really get an idea what type of artist you are. Like one song, you can't really you know what I mean? That might be the one, right? But if they hear other stuff, they get a chance to hear the versatility that you come with. You get what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
definitely hear you there. Um, so what I mean? What where else have you been? Any other place to perform and really showcase your music? Or was really Atlanta the hub for you to make sure you always travel to?
Just Atlanta, and I've wanted to do shows in other places, and I'm sure
Okay.
in the future I will be.
Right.
I know there's a lot of things coming up,
Mhm.
so I definitely want to, budget a lot of those things so I can make it to a lot of those places to get myself out there a lot
Right.
more as I'm grounding myself in the music.
No, makes sense. I mean, this time of year, especially in March, right? Something's trying to get in my eye. This time
Okay.
of year, in in March, you got South by Southwest. You get what I'm saying? Out in Austin, Texas. So, what I mean, you take advantage of that the next year if you can, right? Budget at, and really get out there to those people and to those platforms and those stages and get your network on things like that. But I want to talk about this record that we got on Track Bullies Radio and Power 107.6 The Truth. Shout out to everybody that be tuning into that station, to those stations. Black Shades and Blue Colors. We got that.
Yeah.
You gotta talk to me about that. You know what I mean? Like, who produced that? What's that song about? How did that come about? Like, why that name? Like, there's so many questions, and I know how you dug deep to create it. So give me the origin behind that song.
Young Hydro Beats created that beat, man.
Okay.
And when I made that song, it was because I was going through things in my state while I was in the military too. Because you deal with those things in and out of the military because
Okay.
that's just where I'm from, where I was raised, what I was doing. And I
Right.
also saw, the other things going on in the South in those other areas, and then up north too, those things were happening.
Okay.
And it put me back into when I was a kid and how I was treated. And I got treated like that from black and white people because of the way that I talked. And I went to a predominantly black school and I talked like this, and it was just like the different perspective how I was treated, as far as well as when I got to a predominantly white school, it was a different era too, and they practiced other things, and it was the same things where like racism got super worse.
Okay.
And I wanted to talk about those things, and then I wanted to also talk about like how these cops, or and especially these white ones, man, see you. You look at a birth certificate, a black person is, or a brown person, because we're brown.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, but um on your birth certificate they describe you as black, and
Right.
then you're brown. So I made that music to showcase that is what you're seen as, that's what I'm seen as.
Right.
And then it's like the hatred that also comes from your own people too. It was a lot that I talked about up in that thing, man. But I was
Yeah.
also trying to showcase that, like, hey, I've been through racism like super, super bad, and I always felt bad because other black people did those things to me too, because of the way that I spoke.
Right. And you know what though? What I noticed is that people tend to make fun of stuff they don't understand, or be scared of things that they don't understand, or people that they don't think is within their quote unquote version of normal,
Mhm.
right? When people, when you, as you grow, you start to understand that somebody's version of normal will always be different from yours, right? And you might have some similarities, right? Like, you might have some things in common, but everybody's unique. So something that's normal for me, what I mean, that I can wake up and get to and do and be aware of, might not be normal for you, and vice versa, right? But that doesn't mean it's okay to make fun or be racist, or
Racial.
racial, or
I don't think a lot of black people are racist, but I think we're racial and racial toward our own. But
yeah, yeah,
it was just different mindsets that I put up in there, and it was like, a lot of these cops in these areas do those things, and like the black on black is higher than the white crimes, and that's even worse. And
right.
it's like you don't want to see those things. You want black people to come together, and it's like, at some point you want that stuff to stop.
Right. Well, everybody with the same skin is not the same kin. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's one of those things where you really got to pick and choose who should be in your circle, and who's who should be blessed to be around you. You get what I'm saying? So, as you travel to different places and learn different things, you'll see the aspect of it. But sometimes that, these things are put in front of you to give you the awareness and give you the strength to be able to get past it and deal with it down the line, right?
Right.
So that way when something harder comes, you're in this case, that's your not necessarily normal, but you know how to bob and weave, and you know how to deal with it in the future. So definitely understand that. um Musically, who did you look up to? Like,
A
who's
lot of people, and I keep saying this, man, and and it's like they make the comparisons to me to some of these people, but it's like in my mind, like they're so far ahead in a different realm than me because a lot of those things I don't think I would do. But
yeah,
you just never know. That was the past. This is the future. This is the now. But Missy Elliott, Erica Badu, I used to listen to MC Lush. Is boom. I got your boyfriend. I got your man. Erica Badu,
right,
Juice World. I listened to a lot of Nicki, man, a lot of Nicki when she first came out with that mixtape.
yeah, yeah,
Um, I've listened to a lot of male rappers too. Don't get me wrong, I listen to a lot of male rappers, but I also listen to a lot of those female rappers because it's like I'm female.
right, right. I
And
mean, you gotta
I'm
support
living
your own.
a female life. Don't get me wrong. I have had, boy tendencies in the past because I'm like, more masculine with a lot of my tendencies in a way. But I listen to Lauren Hill when she was on Sister Act, listen to her voice and all that, like a lot of their music. The A Tribe Called Quest, 50 Cent, a lot of those rappers, but the ones that gave me the inspiration were the females.
Right, right. And shout out to all the female artists, because nowadays females is putting in that work. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
they the ones coming, regardless of what type of music it is. These ladies are definitely putting in that work and taking over and showing the men, and they can get down and make things happen for themselves as well. So definitely a big shout out there. You know, um what else does DaphoDILL want to do outside, or maybe within the music or within the entertainment industry? Is there anything else you want to dive into?
I really want to eventually get into podcasting and photography, man. And I've been saying it for a while. I
Okay.
want to make like a good podcast to talk about like politics, social norms, and equalities, things like that. So it's not just rooted on music, but it's rooted
Right.
on the things that we're actually dealing with in the world.
Well,
And
definitely do
I
it. Do
I
it.
am
You
going
know what
to
I'm
do
saying?
that thing, man. Working on right now. I'm in school doing schoolwork right now too. I'm trying not to focus on too much at one time to overload myself, but
Right.
in the midst of getting a lot of this stuff done, I want to just go ahead and just say, you know what, fuck it. I'm just get this. I'm gonna just try this, and I'm gonna just
Right.
podcast. I'm gonna get somebody to talk about this stuff, and we just gonna go. I was doing that stuff previously, but nobody wanted to believe in my vision either. But
Right.
I also know that you can't work with everybody, and everybody can't work with you. Nobody may not want you to work with them.
Right. Right.
It's a different reaction to what someone else may want for you in themselves versus a vision you may see.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. When it comes to achieving your dream, you will continue to be alone until you can show the people that didn't believe in your dream that it was actually possible. You get what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So you're gonna run into people, in the path of you moving forward through your dream that have some similar thoughts as you, and those are the people that you might be able to collab with and maybe learn some things from, and to help you take it to the next level. Everybody else is just going to think you crazy, or not going to really support it because they don't really see the vision that you see. So now that you get ready to move forward, right? So do the podcast, and whether you get one view, no views, whatever, you know what I'm saying? The point is that you stay consistent, and then they'll continue. Now then those, and at the same time, you're taking the opportunity to better improve on that podcast and take it to the next level. So you never know. So I'll say start, you know what I'm saying? Because you will never figure out how to really get to what you want until you start. So it's really just the idea until you make it a reality. So definitely do that. and whoever ain't with it ain't with it. You know what I'm saying? And whoever will, they'll show that support. So I would say definitely do that. So definitely get down with that podcast and let people know what you got to say. I think you got a voice, you be able to really speak it, and the people who want to hear it will definitely gravitate to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let me ask you this: you on the Grynd Live podcast, y'all cipher, DaphoDILL with us. Shout out to the people tuning in. What do you feel like is your definition of grind?
Get it out the mud. I've heard the saying by any means necessary.
By any means necessary, without stepping on people's feet and toes.
You
And
try not to step on people's feet and things like that, but
right.
sometimes those things do happen, but you try to get those things by any means necessary without, stepping on those toes.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I mean, some people get in the way, and the consequences of that decision is you get stepped on, right? But yeah,
Yeah.
that wasn't your intention. Your intention was to make sure you get through with integrity, and you got your, you got your focus and your grind and things like that. So I can definitely understand that. Now, earlier you mentioned that you were in the military. How long were you in the military for?
Oh man, between 8 and 9 years. They were trying to take my years back.
Really?
They didn't want me to serve a full term, but I still did, man. I couldn't even remember a lot of that stuff because the military is rough, so they do other shit up in there. They be torturing the fuck out your ass up in that bitch.
Wow, that's crazy.
But I served 8 or 9 years in there, man, and I just recently got out last year.
Okay.
So I'm also, navigating from getting away from all of that trauma
Right.
into this world and the business and the music and that things, and trying to really place a different aspect and perspective on myself as well as how my life has been.
How's the experiences that you've been through so far, whether it be military, whether it be going, coming up in school or whatever, or doing through music? How is that integrates into the person you are right now?
It's very isolating, demeaning in a way, and victimizing, blame shifting, a lot of that stuff. And it's made me into a let me see, it's made me into like I ain't gonna say super healthy, but it's made me into a more spiritual person to believe in other things.
Right, right.
Um
No, I get it. I get it. Do you
and
feel like? No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh no, it was just like it changed me. It changed me completely to see that, it's like what you already know. Now you gotta experience what you already know.
Right, right, right.
And it changed my mind on a lot of things too. It really did.
Makes sense. Let me ask you this: do you feel like you living or surviving?
Um, Both.
Okay. What
I'm in
aspect of your
survival
life?
mode because of a lot of the things that I have done in my past as it relates to my music and my poetry and the things I dealt with while I was serving and in my school years, as well as it relates back to sobriety, but as also I'm still living because I'm still pushing forward
Right,
to put a lot of those things behind me in a way. It's like I'm talking about those things to get those stories out, but I'm also trying not to stay stuck on that too, because
right.
you don't want to stay stuck in the negativity.
Definitely. Well, you definitely don't want to stay stuck in there, and it's important that you find a way forward, recognizing that what you had to push through in the past. Right, your past is now your rear view mirror. So you know what I mean, like, but you don't look through the rear view mirror unless you got to make sure you see what's behind you, right? Otherwise you're always looking, at you're always looking forward, you know what I mean, in forward position. So it's all good. You just want to make sure to know, that you stay focused, and your grind is your grind, your uniqueness is your uniqueness, and all that good stuff. What else you want to tell the people? What else you want to let the people know about DaphoDILL, and what you got going on?
Man, I'm actually supposed to be back in Atlanta, man, hopefully, and if God's willing to perform on 404 day,
Okay.
man, do some networking there, some performing there,
Right.
have a little leisure while I'm there, some more interviews coming up
Yeah. Yeah.
about a lot of things. Different things, working on getting to bigger stages
Right.
too, and bigger places, you know. Hopefully I
Definitely.
can join some more camps like I did with Zaytown Global,
Okay.
and maybe go to like the one they have in Nashville and try to get these other things like South by Southwest. I've been told about it, A3C. I know those things are in March, but
Yeah.
you know, I can always still do those things the following year or find something else to do
Right.
um toward the end of the year.
I hear you. Definitely want to do A3C South by Southwest, and if you head to Carolina CIAA, you can
Okay.
make sure you make
Maybe.
sure you do those. You know what I'm saying? So tell the people where they can find DaphoDILL on social medias.
Oh man, I've changed my social media so much. It's still the same underscore DAPHODILL underscore. But man, you can follow me on Twitter, YouTube, everything.
Right.
Name should be the same. TikTok, I'm on Lemonade now.
Yeah. How you
Big
like that? I wasn't really feeling Lemonade too much. Like I was on there. I was like, I don't know, this thing ain't hitting the way I wanted to hit. But I might try it again.
There should be a lot on there,
Right.
but I like it because when I'm on there, I'm seeing more things catered to spirituality on there too.
Okay. I hear you. I hear you. Any shout outs you want to give to the people out there or to whatever
Woo!
the things you got going on?
Definitely thank you to Zaytown Global for the distribution deal. DJ Roots Queen, Tampa Mystic, other industry professionals that reached out and helped me with a lot of things too while I was making my way through this industry.
Def-
People, thank you to people that I haven't even met yet that will help me.
Definitely.
Um,
Well,
Manny,
we got you coming through. You know what I'm saying? We got you on Power 107.6, The Truth, Track Bullies Radio. We got some blog work that we got to do for you as well. So we're gonna keep grinding. We're gonna keep pushing. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You already know what it is. Well, listen, I appreciate you taking the opportunity to, to check in on us and talk with us. And we hope to talk to you again.
okay, you too, and thank you so much for having me on here.
Definitely. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, you too.
All right.